We're missing.
We have to do the pledge of allegiance, right?
The time is 2 p.m. on September 29th, 2021. I call to order this meeting of the Board of Voter Registration and Elections of Beaufort County. I'd like to start by us saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a flag? Right behind us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to call for public comments if there are any. Do either of you wish to speak? No? Okay. Okay. We have a new board meeting, a new board member who's going to be on Hilton Head, James Wedgeworth. He's gotten his letter. He's not here today. I just want to go on record that we do have a new board member. Next is the minutes from our May 26th meeting. Everyone should have got them back then. I know that was a long time ago, but do I have a motion to approve them?
So moved.
Thank you, Caroline. Second, Craig. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the minutes are approved.
Steve?
Yes.
Something?
Sure.
Not to get on anybody's bad side, but we should all be wearing a mask. It's the rule in this building. Thank you.
But if you were in here, you didn't have to.
I don't know what the rule is on that.
It's at the door.
Thank you.
Okay. The only unfinished business that we have is the update on the Bluffton office building security. I know that they had said they were gonna get it done by the end of the summer. Did that happen?
No.
No, they're not finished yet?
The latest is that they are still working on the parts for the equipment, and so I'm not sure exactly when that's going to take place. As soon as all the parts come in, then I'm assuming that they will move forward and let us know something.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the committee reports. I know that Mr. Clifford was working on the facilities and a timeline on when that extra facility for our machines would be ready, but he's not here. So Marie, do you have an update?
Yes, I do. The two facilities that were of concern, of course, was the security with the Bluffton office, so we know that's not done. And the other was the storage facility that's located on Boundary Street, the additional storage for election equipment and supplies. That is still under construction and renovations. So right now, we are still in the same position we have been for the last couple of months, waiting for that to be completed. And there's no projection on when the completion date is.
Okay. We're still within that original 6 months that they had anticipated though, right? Because I know that in April or May, they had said maybe 6 months. We're still within that.
So,
Okay. All right. Craig, does the Finance Committee have an update?
Nothing to report.
Bernadette, does the Legislative Affairs Committee have an update?
No, not at this time.
Beverly, does the Precinct Reapportionment Committee have an update?
Not at this time, but we will be scheduling a meeting at the end of this hour. At the end of this meeting, we will be scheduling a committee meeting.
Jim, for the Rules Committee?
Yes, the Rules Committee met 1 week ago today. The full membership was there. We spent most of the time deciding how specific or not, how broad or not, we want a look at the current manual. We'll be framing that up, and I'll be getting back to the group in terms of a meeting, probably within the next couple of weeks, if we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to new business. So in the, with me finishing my certification to be on the board, I took several classes in Columbia this summer with the SEC, and right now I am the chairman and the secretary. According to I am not supposed to hold both positions, and that's in particular if we go into executive session, I can't hold both positions in that situation. So we need to nominate a new secretary if possible. I think the only course of action, if nobody is willing to be the secretary, is that it reverts back to the voter registration office. So would anybody be interested in being the secretary? I knew, I knew that was going to be the case. So I don't know in this situation if it would require a vote to give it back to Chris or not. I'm sorry.
I'm sure one of the board members will step up.
I'm really hoping so. I'm really hoping
That's
so.
how
It's not
much faith I have in
difficult.
my board. Come on, guys, don't let us down.
No takers, no takers. It really doesn't take me that long. And Chris has been wonderful. She has everything you need. I'm sorry. No takers at this point.
No,
so.
Chacha. Couldn't
Sorry.
even coax you up.
What's that?
No, until, maybe they just need a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah.
And until then, the office staff will fill in.
Okay.
Just
All right. Next one's just a reminder to submit your list of election poll workers for November 2nd election to the office as soon as you can. I know that there have been some difficulties, particularly with clerks. When is the drop dead date that you guys need those names?
like we always say, as soon as
As soon as
possible.
possible. I know that he had wanted them by last week.
I talked with Wendell, he really want them, this week if possible, because, we will be starting training of the poll workers in about 2 weeks.
Okay,
So we need to make sure we have everybody on board that's gonna be available to work. So as soon as we can get those lists and fill in the gaps where you may be missing people, it'll be good for us. And-
Okay.
Okay.
okay. Next thing is one of my locations, the Seabrook 3 polling location. It was at the Grays Hill Community Center and has been for a number of years. In looking back through minutes from before I was on this board, I saw that the handicap ramp did not meet Americans with Disability Act's guidelines. So I started working with Wendell and some other facilities over in Grays Hill, and we have changed that polling location permanently to the Grays Hill Fire Department over there. So that change has been made, and notices, I'm assuming, have gone out to all of the voters in that area.
What we will need though is a vote on the board to make that change officially, to that location, for that polling location, so that
Okay.
we
So do
will
we
be
have a
sending
motion
out
to
new
approve?
voter registration cards to those voters.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve that polling location change?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All approved?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. That change has been made. Thank you, ma'am. All right. I'll turn it over to you, Marie, for your director's report.
Okay. Okay. All right, we will start, and my report is pretty short, but these are the topics that we're going to be discussing: election updates, facility updates, which pretty much already been given, and some miscellaneous news. As you all know, on November the 2nd, County Council had passed an ordinance to add 2 referendums to the November 2nd ballot. And I have them listed there. This is just a summary. So they will be appearing on the November 2nd ballot. And along with that, we will have municipal elections as well. The town of Port Royal have 2 council seats on the ballot. The town of Bluffton has 2. And the town of Yemassee will have the mayor and 2 council seats. Our in-person absentee precinct will open on Monday, the 4th at 9, and it will be open from now until the day before the election. We will open from 9 to 4 daily, except the day before the election, we will be open until 5. We will be hosting in 3 locations like we did during the general election in November of 2020. Beaufort, Bluffton, and Hilton Head will be open for those same hours. Next slide, Chris.
When will the wordage for the referendums be made public?
The wording will be showing up on the county website. I'm sure it's on the county website. And it will be on the sample ballots, which I think will not be available until Monday or after Monday. So, but we have it at our office as well, but it's not, all we do is make sure that every voter get a copy of it and have a chance to read it on election day. We don't do any advertisement for referendums. That's done by the party that's sponsoring it. So being that county council is the sponsor, they are responsible for all the advertisements.
Okay, so for the voters, then they could go to the website and pull down the sample ballot, and then they would
It will be there.
Okay.
Okay, we're making several precinct changes. And these are mostly temporary locations, except for the one we mentioned earlier. The Ladies Island 3B, usually is being housed at the Ladies Island Airport, will be located at the Ladies Island Elementary School gymnasium. And they will be sharing the information as one. But we did that during the November election because of the airport was not feasible, I guess, at the time. And I understand now that it's going under renovation, and I'm not sure what all's being done during the renovation. But if it finds itself where we can move back there after this election, we will move back.
I have a question. Now, will we put up signs at the airport? Last time we didn't put up signs and then people started going there.
Yes, you will be putting signs up. You will make sure that signs are out. We will provide the signs, and you can make sure that they are posted.
Thank you.
All right. Seabrook 3, we mentioned earlier.
Question, Madam. I was under the understanding that Ladies Island 1B is at the elementary school. Is that correct?
That may be, I don't know.
And so you're putting both
It's both of them there.
precincts in the school gym? You're putting both precincts in the school gym? That needs to.
We did it during the November election, so we can accommodate them in the one location. Except this time it'll be a little smoother operation because they will be sharing a poll booth.
They'll be sharing
Yes.
the polling place.
Seabrook 3, we are moving from the Grays Hill Community Center to the Grays Hill Fire Station. and we have checked out that facility. It's in compliance with ADA, and we will be sending out voter registration cards in the next week. So all those voters will be receiving new cards to notify them of the change in their polling location. Hilton Head 2A is moving to the Hilton Head Library. 4B and 4D, Hilton Head 4B and 4D will be moving to the school, Hilton Head School for Creative Arts. And these are temporary changes, but if things don't get better anytime soon, we may need to make these permanent changes. Hilton Head 9A is at the Church of Christ on Hilton Head. Ladies, Hilton Head 12 and 13 is at St. Luke's Church. And before we had both this precinct and these two precincts and another precinct, I can't remember the number, at St. Luke's Church, and there was a little bit of confusion with the voters, so they will all be in the same location, in the same room this go round. Belfair is moving to Bluffton Middle School temporarily. That's a new location for us. We have not used Bluffton Middle School before. I didn't even know Bluffton had a middle school. I always knew that there was H.E. McCracken, but I didn't know that Bluffton had a Bluffton Middle School as well. So we will be moving that precinct along with Rose Hill. Rose Hill is under renovations as well. So we're moving those two precincts over to the middle school. And Bluffton 1A, 1B, and 1C typically was housed at the Bluffton Library, and the Bluffton Library meeting room is under renovations. So we are moving them over to the Bluffton Rec Center in the gymnasium. Okay. Everybody is gearing up for the public test on Friday, the 1st at 10 o'clock. Board members, you are invited to come. The public test is something that's been going on for years and years. It's nothing new. However, since the last election, it's been, people are paying a little bit more attention to it. And it's kind of like an educational session. And what we do at the public test is we explain to whoever is there how the voting process actually works. So far as the voting machines are concerned, we will show you from the start to the end how all of that is done, how the ballots are created, how they are calculated or counted, and have an opportunity for the audience to ask questions about things that they don't understand. You will also see the equipment that we use in the process, and I think that is a good thing. We want our public to understand our voting process, because I think if we are educated on this, I think as a community, it would be a better place when we go to the polls on election day, or just making sure that we can defend what we do, because it's a transparent process and there's nothing to hide. And if people understand that, I think the whole process will work better. So we are looking forward to the public test and to share the information with the public. For the first time, we will have election night reporting for local and municipal election on the scvotes.gov website. Typically, we do it on the county level. We are responsible for displaying elections results, but we now will be using scvotes.gov So anyone who's interested in how the referendum's going or how the municipal elections are going, they can just log on to the SC Votes website and get those results.
Now, you also can get a sample ballot from there as well,
A what?
a sample ballot.
Yes, scvotes.gov is where the sample ballots will be accessed. Okay? Chris?
When will your office be printing them? When will your office be printing the ballots?
What did she say?
When will your office be printing the ballots?
Ballots will be printed on demand. So we do not send out ballots until we open up the in-person absentee precinct. And so, which will be the 4th. And so we will be responsible for printing our own ballots because we don't anticipate thousands and thousands of ballots in this election.
So on the 4th, that's the answer.
Well, we'll probably print it like that Friday or so to get ready for it to be in the mail on that Monday.
I was asking for a date. I was asking for a date.
A date, what date?
That's the 1st. And of course, we also work on weekends when we have to. But the ballots will be mailed, the first ballots will be mailed on the 4th when the absentee precinct opens up. This is your briefing schedule. I will email this information to you as well. We will be doing the briefings virtually. Go to the next slide, Chris. But we will have in-person hands-on training. We will go to Bluffton. We will have 2 sessions in Bluffton, 2 sessions on Hilton Head, and 4 sessions in Beaufort. Hopefully, now this is not mandatory like it has been in the past, but we are encouraging clerks and even board members to come and get the hands-on experience so that you can be a little bit more effective on election day. There are a few changes to our BMD screen. This would be a good opportunity for you to see what those changes are and ask your questions as well. Remember, you're going to be out there helping the poll managers, so it would be nice for you to attend. We always require that you attend the briefings, but the hands-on, you do that at your own will. Poll clerks and those who are in the assistant clerk's position and those who would love to become clerks in the future, it's recommended for them. Everyone doesn't have to come. There's no compensation involved. This is a local election, but it's a good opportunity to get ahead of the game for the 2022 elections. Yes, sir.
Is this intended to substitute for past clerk training?
I'm sorry?
I heard your description of who the hoped for or intended audience is. What you saw in the past, and I don't see here, is specific reference to clerks.
Yeah, I said it's being recommended, the hands-on training.
Right.
Is being recommended for clerks,
Right.
assistant clerks, or clerk in training, I think is how we reference them. And any of the poll workers who just want to know a little bit more about how all of the equipment works. And that's good. I mean, that's a good thing. The unfortunate thing is, because we don't have state monies involved, it's on their own. They do it at their own will. Okay?
Is there a way for us to get copies of these 2 slides, 9 and 10, to share with our clerks?
Yes, I'll email you the information.
Okay.
Good idea.
The facility, we've already talked about Bluffton office not being completed yet. The security is not done. The warehouse space is not finished. And I mentioned earlier that we are working, maybe not, we are working with the school system for additional polling locations for future use. We are anticipating the need for places to host elections, especially in the Bluffton area. We are anticipating after the redistricting that we're gonna be needing more space. So we're working with the schools, we're working with any of the churches that's willing to help us to find location that we can have a polling location to host elections. So, and that's not an easy task. Finding polling locations not easy because if it's the schools, of course, they feel kind of obligated because they do what they do. But working with the churches or community centers or some of the community activity places in the area, they don't always want to give up a whole day devoted to hosting an election. And of course, the wear and tear on a facility, we can't really pay for. So that's why we're working with the schools and county-owned facilities and any church that feel obligated to provide community services to their community. Some of any questions on the facilities? Now, as board members, please know that you are ambassadors for the board. So if you are a member of an organization or a club or whatever, and you have a facility that you meet at on a regular basis, talk to them about us using them as a polling location. If you have friends, use your friends to be your mouthpiece on facilities, because we're gonna need them. And it's not just in Bluffton, we need them on Hilton Head, we need them north of the Broad as well. Okay, miscellaneous news. 2021 SCARE conference, in my opinion, and this is only my opinion, was a success. I don't know if any other board members agree with me.
Yes.
Yes. Here, here.
All right, that was just a little joke. The SCARE conference was hosted in Myrtle Beach. We had some great speakers from all across the country. They touched on various topics of importance to election officials, and I think everyone learned from those presentations. They were very well presented, and I felt very well received by those in attendance. Okay, the ballot marking devices, which is, we call them the BMDs, have been updated with new software, and we just recently had the battery replaced. So the battery should be good for the next 2 to 3 years. Our tabulators, the firmware on those were also updated for the DS200 and the DS450. And these equipment will be displayed during the public test, so people will understand what their roles are in the election process. Redistricting data should be out tomorrow. It's my understanding that it's going to be released one time to everybody at the same time. And Ms. Beverly will be interested in that information because the voter registration and election board has a role in that process, along with your senators and your House of Representatives and county council and school board. Everybody's playing a role in this process, and we also as a board have a role to play So that should be coming out tomorrow. Any questions?
Okay, since there's no questions, I'd like to take a moment again to welcome Mr. Wedgeworth to our board. You just got your letter a couple weeks ago? Well, welcome. I'm sorry we're kind of throwing you to the wolves right now with an election in a month.
I promise next time I'll be on time. I couldn't find it. I've been wandering around the complex.
That's okay. I think I did that the
I
first.
know where it is now.
Well, welcome. It's nice to have you. Nice to meet you. Beverly, do you want to go ahead and figure out a time to have that meeting?
Yes, I'm thinking about, next Thursday. What's that sound? All the people who are on it. I'm just gonna meet with them after this meeting and the three of us can just decide.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay. So just some announcements, like Marie went over, the public test of the voting machines, October 1st at 10 a.m. at the voter registration office on John Galt Road. And the big scanners will be available to be seen also. I had a lot of questions about that, asking if they'd be able to see those scanners as well, so that's good that they'll be there. Absentee precincts open from 9 to 4 on October 4th. And our next board meeting is scheduled for, are those, I know it's hard because we have an election November 2nd. So technically our next board meeting would be the 4th Wednesday in October, but that's a week before our election, right?
Is that when we certify?
No, we certify after the November, like the week of November. So don't we, in lieu of the October one, it'll be
Right,
November?
November, yeah.
We usually do it on a Friday, don't we certify on a Friday?
I know we do for a general election, but is it Thursday for non-general?
We certify on Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay.
Got that county referendum on there?
November 4th.
That would be on the 4th.
10:30 November 4th is when we certify.
Okay.
All right. So our next board meeting will be, we'll certify the November 2nd election at 10:30 on November 4th. And that will be our board meeting. Okay. Does anybody else have anything to add?
The 4th or the 5th?
Right. The canvas hearing at 10:30 followed by our board meeting.
Is the location here or at the?
It'll be,
The main office.
it'll be at John Galt. It'll be at the voter registration office. All right. If no one has anything else to add, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.